Turning now to the situation in Haiti, where the United Nations says more than 7 million people, a third of the population, are facing food insecurity. On top of that, a shortage of clean water has also led to a cholera outbreak. Both food and water are running low because there's no fuel for delivery trucks due to a port blockade by powerful gangs. Calls for foreign intervention to ease the crisis are only adding to the tensions. Police fired tear gas at protesters near the U.S. Embassy in the capital, Port-au-Prince. Some waved Russian flags. They reject foreign interference and say they fear for their country's sovereignty. Now, despite popular opposition, Haiti's government has appealed for international troops to quell the chaos and restore order. At an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council, Haiti's foreign minister brought what he called a cry of distress from his people.
The situation has dangerously deteriorated. Terrible events are taking place every day. Human lives are being lost. There are kidnappings, public and private property being destroyed. There are rapes, theft, looting, threats and intimidation. And this plunges the country further into chaos, with extremely serious consequences for everyone.
The United States and Mexico now say they are preparing a UN resolution to authorize an international mission. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres backed the call for intervention, saying Haitians faced a dramatic emergency.
It's an absolutely nightmarish situation for the population of Haiti, especially Port-au-Prince. We need an armed action to release the port and to allow for a humanitarian corridor to be established. I'm talking of something to be done in support of the Haitian police, and I'm talking of something to be done based on strict humanitarian criteria.
The Security Council is split on the matter, and a vote on the resolution has not yet been scheduled. But there is still plenty to talk about, and for that, I want to bring in Pascal Robert. He is a Haitian-American writer and co-host of the podcast This is Revolution. He joins us from Miami, Florida. Welcome, Mr. Robert. This is a fairly unusual move by the Haitian government. How did we get here?
Well, thank you very much for having me on. The first thing we have to understand is the major reason we're here is as a consequence of the assassination of the former elected Haitian president, Jovenel Moïse, who was assassinated on July 7th, 2021. And afterwards, the United States put in an unelected government that was not chosen by the Haitian people, which is the current administration of Ariel Henry. And much of the actual unrest that exists in the country stems from the fact from large segments of the population not recognizing his authority as a governor of the affairs of the people, because they see him as completely as being a total pawn of the State Department and being unable to dictate the affairs of the country. And his constant and current request to have U.S. intervention, as he's done just now, indicates that their instincts are correct. So in terms of the actual problem we have in the country is that we have pretty much a government that is illegitimate in the eyes of large segments of the population that is governing a country that has not had an election in 6 years, trying to determine the affairs by summoning the people that put him in power in the first place.
The weakness of this government that is seen as illegitimate by many people in Haiti has led to the rise of these gangs. How powerful are they?
Well, the questions to ask about the gangs is not so much how powerful are they, but who's financing them. Explain to me how a bunch of so-called poor individuals who are living in Port-au-Prince are getting weapons shipped to them from Florida all the way into the capital. Who's financing them? Who has the money to do such a thing? And the question then becomes, are there people within the Haitian oligarchy or the Haitian finance private sector, or maybe former members of the Haitian government officialdom, who have interest in trying to destabilize the country to the point where there cannot be elections held, so that there's no real actual democratic representation of the voice of the people? And the only consequence is that the United States and the core group and other foreign international actors who have had a parasitic relationship with the country going back to its inception can come in and find a way to basically undermine the sovereignty of the Haitian people even further. That's why I kind of resent the notion that people make the statement that Haiti is a failed state. Haiti is not a failed state. It is a state that has been failed by the international community.
What would the international community have to do, in your opinion, to assist the people that are going through economic hardship, that are now suffering the conditions that, you know, were created by a tumultuous history?
I think that the first thing that has to be done is that we have to realize that we have an illegitimate Haitian government that's sitting in the seat of power in the country, and that they should remove it. There should be a provisional government made up from the various political parties and civil society that can come together and govern with a strict mandate to hold an election within a year's time and maintain security in the country. And to do that, there has to be the capacity of maintaining some type of military supervision by Haitian police authorities over the gang territories. So that at best, I would submit that the international community could help by secondarily buttressing the internal police force in Haiti by providing them weapons and arms training to help undermine the gangs. At best, that is the most tangential relationship I would agree to having with the international community in Haiti when one considers their long history of undermining the sovereignty of the country.
So the UN had peacekeepers in Haiti for more than a decade. The mission was, you know, marred by scandals ranging from blue helmets causing a cholera outbreak, gang raping a teenager. It's quite understandable that people are on the fence about international intervention. Is there any kind of outside assistance that Haitians would accept?
I mean, the thing is, though, the question that becomes, when people say things like that, the question you ask is that, what is the track record of the international community once they have come and put their boots on the ground in Haiti? And if you look quite carefully, you'll see that what they have done is abuse, misuse, mistreat, and even infect Haitians with cholera at one point with the last UN occupation that existed a few years, less than 15 years ago, that left 5 years ago, excuse me. So the question then becomes, are Haitians somewhat irrational when you say, well, okay, well, if you tell us that we can't govern ourselves, what exactly is the track record that you have when you come on our land and our shores and try to govern our affairs and supposedly for us in terms of what you do to our people?
All right, but there is an acute crisis right now. What can be done to help those in need?
I think what can be done is that the steps that are necessary are to, one, make sure that we have a legitimate Haitian government and realize that a provisional council government removing Ariel Henry should be the first step. He should go. Because he's not recognized by the people, and he's not going to be able to do anything that's going to be able to bring order to the country. So a provisional collective government with varying political parties coming together with the particular intention of sponsoring an election within a 1 year of its mandate should be implemented. Number two, a security force buttressing the support of of international forces, giving Haitian police authorities the weaponry necessary to investigate these gangs, with the secondary support of international officers, if necessary, should be put into power without giving them the overall say in terms of how they're.
We're going to have to leave it there, Pascal. Thank you so much for your time tonight.